Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Tornadoes. This is CTN, a Clearwater digital media production. Today is Thursday, August 29th. My name is Payson Evans. Today we have your latest headline stories that affect Clearwater in the Tampa Bay area, as well as your school news. So stay tuned because CTN starts now. In your headline news, as weather experts are continuing to track Dorian's progress and its potential impact to the southeast U.S., the Federal Emergency Management Agency is doing the same. Quote, "It has the potential of being a very dangerous storm that could impact a lot of our East Coast," said Jeff Byard. Hundreds at FEMA's headquarters in Washington, D.C. are working round the clock inside the National Response Coordination Center. There are resources and personnel already on the ground in both Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Quote, "We are interagency partners, our governmental partners, all in coordinating efforts to support our people downrange," Byard said. Puerto Rico is still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma and Maria. Byard said the island's vulnerable power grid remains a major concern. Quote, "We still have a major recovery going on in both Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. The governor has done a great job. Her and her team in Puerto Rico have been very proactive," Byard explained. The storms 2 years ago claimed nearly 3,000 lives. However, FEMA says they've changed their strategy with warehouse packed full and 7,000 generators already on the ground. They've pre-positioned resources throughout the U.S. territory, such as food, water, and tarps. They said they even have more of those life-saving commodities in place than back in 2017 when Hurricane Maria hit. Quote, "We now focus on stabilization of community life, lifelines in food, water, energy, and power, and as well as communication. Those things that every community needs to function daily. And so our incorporation of the private sector will allow us to get the grocery stores back up and will allow us to focus on communications to make sure we know what's going on," he said. As Dorian approaches the U.S. mainland, the Trump administration is planning to take at least $155 million from the FEMA Disaster Relief Fund and move it to bolster immigration enforcement. Byard said the balance left in its disaster relief fund should be enough to cover the storm. Quote, "We shouldn't have any issues there. President Trump approved an emergency declaration on Tuesday, making federal funding available to Puerto Rico to assist in preparations for all 78 municipalities in the Commonwealth. Officials are urging those in the path of the storm to download the FEMA app to receive real-time alerts from the National Weather Service, to find open emergency shelters and other critical information. Now to Isaac with today's school news.
Thanks, Payson. I'm Isaac Weiser with your school news. Tornadoes. If any of you are interested in the golf team, please see Mr. Melvin in C11 for the boys team and Mr. Brazzano in room 81 for the girls team. Freshman officer applications are still available in room F4 and are due tomorrow. Homecoming court applications are available in F4 and are due next Friday, September 6th. Theater is selling bracelets at both lunches. One bracelet for $6 and two for $10. Now to Tatiana with this week's Animal Facts.
Hello, I'm Tatiana Hollister with this week's Animal Facts. Did you know the red-crested tree rat, which was believed to be extinct, showed an appearance in 2011 after decades of not being seen? The creature made no noise and only stayed long enough for scientists to take photos of it. Another fun fact is the blue-ringed octopus, despite its small size, carries enough venom to kill 26 adult humans within minutes. And finally, the shark for today is epaulete sharks. They are only sharks that can go on land because their front fins help them crawl around from one rock bed to another by shutting down other organs to preserve themselves. Now back to the desk.
And finally, a Georgia kayaker says he could only think of paddling faster after realizing he wasn't alone in a pond. Bo Story told his local news network, quote, "I just paddled and paddled on Monday to get away from a 10-foot, 360-pound alligator that got as close as 5 feet from the back of his kayak." News outlets reported Richmond County deputies received a call from Story saying he was being chased by the behemoth. Story was practicing for a bass fishing tournament when it happened. Deputies arrived on the scene and wrestled the massive gator with help from hunter Trey Durant and his friend Robbie Amerson. The alligator was clearly not afraid of humans and was deemed a nuisance, so it was legally killed by Durant. If any students or teachers would like to have an announcement made, please have your club sponsor or coach email us at cdmptv@gmail.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Clearwater Digital Media Productions for a look back at some of this year's broadcasts. Check out the CDMP Clearlight running all day for new announcements. Thank you for watching CTN. Have a great Tornado Day.